Radio with host Ian Rollins and Earl Baisden. Brought to you by Game Time, the Argus Group, Lindo's Group of Companies, Colonial Group International, Global Atlantic Financial Group, and Fit for Life with Dave Wolf. Let's now go live with Ian Rollins and Earl Baisden.
And good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Inside Sports Talk Radio on this lovely Monday afternoon. It's March 11th. I'm Ian Rollins, along with co-host Earl Baisden. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rollins.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful, man. How you doing?
I'm feeling great.
You should.
Yeah. But wait, let me make it very clear. Did you explain to the people last week why it wasn't here?
Yes, I did. You could ask Don. I said that you were very busy.
He did.
And you weren't running from the fact that Liverpool lost. I did say that.
He did say
No, we didn't lose. We drew.
Oh, within second place.
Remember, we got it on tape.
That's right.
Right. And tape don't lie. And it says
I cleared it right at the top of the show.
Right.
And I emphasized it again at the end of the show that you were not running from the fact that you weren't in first place anymore.
That's right. We're in second place. Yes.
Right.
And due to work commitments last week, I was unavailable to do the annual show.
And that was
the weekly show.
detailed.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Now that I'm back and we won yesterday.
Your friends will take it whichever way you know they're going to take it. They're going to say last week after you didn't win and
right.
The city took the lead, you ran scared. Nah, you're chasing and you're 1 point behind.
You know what I'm saying?
You're back now.
Yeah, United losing yesterday, saying
Yeah. Something else to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, just to give a quick rundown before we take our first commercial break, so I guess have arrived. We have the annual representatives of the Capital Classic joining us in studio. Craig Tyrrell and his representatives will be joining us momentarily. Today we have Vicky Abraham for the annual ITU. The countdown for that event is on April 27th. Also, we have Patrick Foster from Squash joining us in the studio. And we have Gina Tucker, the president of the Bermuda Half Marathon Derby, be joining us via telephone. And also, I forgot to tell you, we have Mr. Mark Wade and Mr. Mark Simons joining us today. Mr. Mark Wade will join us in studio. Mr. Mark Wade will join us in studio. Mr. Mark Simons will join us via telephone as he's been re-elected as the president of the Bermuda Bodybuilding Federation, along with his committee. So we're going to take our first commercial break. When we take our first commercial break, we'll bring our guest in studio. We'll be back after this.
Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Baston.
And welcome back. Joining us in studio is Mr. Craig Tyrrell and Mr. Ray Jones, two fine gentlemen who are representatives of the Capital Classic. Yeah, you shock yourself?
Fine gentlemen.
Yeah, fine gentlemen. Do a great job in this classic. It's an annual event. And of course, do other things within the community. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Going to be a regular here, Mr. Jones?
Apparently.
What's that? Apparently, I like that. It's that time of the year for you, the annual Capital Classic. It's probably the biggest. It is the biggest youth event in Bermuda. It's a lot of success that you guys share with us each year. Any different events that's going to be happening this year, or are you going to have things in place for this year that's going forward as per normal?
No, this year would go as per normal, but the challenge is every year the tournament is growing. So fortunately or unfortunately, we have another record year in reference to participants individually.
That's
and
fortunately.
teams.
That's fortunate.
So obviously we must be doing something right.
Exactly.
So that's the challenge because as you can see, we're up to 4 days.
Yep.
Which is 2 evenings and then 2 full days on Saturday and Sunday. And my brother here to the left is the one responsible for the schedule. and you know, he's pulling his hair out to get it all, to fit it all in,
Sure.
because we don't want to disappoint the kids.
Right,
You know, they
right.
look forward to it. As you know, I'm a club man, and it's one of the first things when preseason starts in August, September. The youngsters run up to me and say, "Coach, President, man, it's Cap. We even had to kick the ball yet to the BFA leagues, and all they want to know is, man, it's the Kappa dates."
Wow.
It's so powerful because even to the point now, parents know they can't even play on vacation because the kids would say, "Well, I'm not going to Disney World because it's Kappa that weekend."
Wow.
You would have to figure it out what
Sure.
you're going to do if that ticket you bought for, because I'm not missing Kappa.
Sure.
I mean, that's
Damn.
that's how important it has become
Yeah.
to the young people. And as you know, last year we worked a little bit with the BFA to help get the women girls game going. So they're just as excited as much as the boys. That they're becoming, you know, a major feature in this event as well.
This event is growing so much, right? You're putting on 4 days. Let's raise the bar. You guys ever consider like talking to the Department of Education, give you a day off because you got 4 days and I'm being serious, right? Remember the exhibition was like 3 days, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all going to 4. You might as well.
More complaints.
No, but it's a worthy cause. But it's a worthy cause. Think about it, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
educational,
yeah.
right? You're giving something back to the community, and this is 4 days. Let's look at this now. Let's be real about it.
Interesting concept. Interesting.
Interesting, but the reality is, not many principals want their children out of school for sports. That's the reality.
Yeah. Well, I think Ian raises a good point, and Earl, you are spot on. But I think it's a matter of educating the educators on how important sports is to education.
Yeah, this is what I was referring to. Yeah, correct.
And I agree, because I'm a bit disappointed with, I know we're going to talk a little bit, but how much PE and sports the young people do compared to when we grew up, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, Earl, I think it's just a matter of convincing people of seeing the importance, because learning comes in all different ways. It's not just sitting at the desk, but first you're seeing kids that potentially 1 or 2 could be considered a problem in the classroom, but for 4 days they're not a problem to us.
Right.
So maybe there's some learning there, some teaching styles that could be implemented in the school system, because obviously this is something the kid wants to participate. They know if there's any bad behavior, you're out.
Yeah.
There's no negotiating.
Yep.
There's no you get 1-2 tries before we let you. It's a wrap. It's over.
Done.
So they come mentally prepared to give their best and conduct themselves in the appropriate way.
Fair enough.
Stretching it out to a 4th day, does that ease up your schedule considerably, especially for time wise?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just time; it's actually space.
Right.
And so we only have so many fields to play on at the NSE, plus the Clyde Bass Center of Excellence. And so without having that additional day, we'll be playing till like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. So having that additional day definitely makes life a whole lot easier for everyone. Yeah, and like Ray said, I mean, our idea has always been to have an open tournament, and so we've never capped off the number of teams that can play in a division. And so, of course, if it was that way and we just had a straight 16 team division, then life would be very easy. But we have the odd numbers. So for example, in our under 9s, we had under 9s and under 11 boys, we have actually 23 teams participating this year. 23 teams in each of those divisions. So we have to find fields for each of those games.
Right.
And you're looking at groups of 6. And so it's a very interesting problem to have from a scheduling perspective.
Right.
But when we do get it done, it's also quite exciting, because that it's going to be like some major football being played over those days.
Right. Are there possibilities that a team will play the first 2 evenings? Or is it like you usually have it? You play one evening, and then you play.
We do our best to spread everyone out throughout the weekend. But there will be some teams that might play on Thursday and Friday night, and then maybe only have one game on Saturday.
Right.
And that's just based on how the schedule works.
Well, with that issue with the under 9s, under 13 boys, with so many teams, you might have to stretch it out like that in order to accommodate the schedule itself.
Absolutely.
I think the other thing why we added a date is the quality of the finals.
Right.
What we're seeing is the quality of the finals has just improved tremendously, because in the little mini version that we had, Earl was alluding to playing multiple matches in a day. And if you're successful, there are multiple matches just keep heading on.
Right.
And then when you get to the final, you got 2 fatigued teams in the end.
Right.
Versus really coming back on the Sunday of a semi-final, final. So you really just got the 2 matches. Kids that had a night's rest, and the quality of football is much better than the fatigue version, where it's just really the excitement of the parents, but the football itself, because the players are fatigued. So that's one of the things we took into consideration.
I see you have an under 17 division. How much support is that been given? So as far as clubs,
what we're trying to do here is, as you know, we don't have a under 17 league.
Right.
So we opened up the registration. 2 clubs actually registered, and then what we have decided to do is reach out to all the other clubs, and we're creating 2 all-star teams. There'll be a Western all-star team and a Central East all-star team. That's our contribution of trying to see if we can kickstart this age bracket. Because the numbers are low. A combination of things, with people moving away, to school and different things like that. But we've been struggling at this, so we didn't want to say there will be no under 17s, because there, once again, there's disappointment. So basically, as of last week, we were able to establish the 2 rosters. So it's looking like it's going to come together pretty well. So it'll be a group of 4 like it was last year.
Right.
But it will consist of these 2 select teams to kind of make it work.
The event gets underway on the 28th. That's on a Thursday.
I believe start at 6 on Thursday night. And matter of fact, it started at 6 on Thursday and Friday night.
Okay.
And then at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning and 9 a.m. on Sunday morning.
So it'll be 9 a.m. on that Saturday morning to what time do you think?
9 to about 8.
Almost a 12-hour day.
Pretty much.
And for Sunday?
Sunday it's like 9 to around 4. So the prize presentation normally starts around 4:30, I believe.
That's why you need a holiday for these guys.
Yeah. And then of course, we also have to clean up our it. So
that's my point. That's my point.
As well, yeah.
All right, that's my point. That's my point.
So the matches on Thursday and Friday night, I believe there are 3 or 4 rounds of matches, so they should be finished around 8:30, 9 o'clock. We have full slate of matches at both the north and south field of the National Sports Center, as well as the Clyde Bass Center of Excellence. Yeah, so on Thursday and Friday night, you will have the under 17 matches up at the VFA field, and all the other matches will be done at the NSC.
Over the years, what has been one of the major challenges for you guys, or what have you heard from, say, parents and coaches has been a challenge on the day? Because there's always got to be something that you guys have to tweak and work at, yeah?
Sure.
speak, I don't think there's been any major challenges. I mean, we're durable and flexible. Trust me, it doesn't always work perfectly.
Well, yeah.
But according to everybody else, it looks like it's working perfectly. Trust me.
Stand next to a radio. You heard it.
We are always constantly putting fires out. There's no two ways about that. I mean, you can imagine having a tournament of this size. I would say probably the biggest thing is just trying to keep the school board updated as quickly as possible, especially when you get down to teams trying to calculate what they need to do to progress through to the next run. So, that's probably an area, and we're looking to do introduce some technology this year, so that hopefully we won't have that too much as an issue. So, because that's probably the biggest thing. It's really when you're getting down to that last run of games, and everybody's trying to jockey what exactly they need to do to get through to the playoff run. So I would say that's probably the biggest one. Everything else, it's just normal daily state stuff, and you have a lot of people there might need some directions to something or whatnot. But I think the different things were added or adjusted. Like one of the biggest things is creating a food court with a big tent.
Right.
So now it's simple. Everybody knows where it is. And we put out a few tables and chairs because seniors come as well. So if they want to come get a little bite or get out of the sun or the weather for a little while, they can sit there and have a little bite and relax. So as it's going along, we just made adjustments based on feedback and different things like that.
You don't have a possible rain date, but have you guys thought of that in the event that something does happen that you can't play on a day?
Well, the rules are very clear. Very clear. And we make it clear. Not even a hurricane can stop the Capital Classic. And I think last year we came clear. That
is the reason why I asked the question because I mean, that weren't torrential. We're past that. But in the end, it kind of eased up a little bit to allow you to get the game in. But
but the rules speak to if matches aren't played because of weather. There's different methods to decide the winners of matches and things. Which, obviously we want the match to be played. The rules speak to drawing of different things and stuff like that. Right. So it's very clear. So really, the tournament would only be off if over the 4 days no football could be played at all. Because if any football can be played, the rules speak to matches that didn't get played and how they will be decided.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's always a good thing to hear before the tournament starts.
Yes.
A lot of people try to make up rules and tell the organizers what the rules are once you start.
So we actually present the rules to all of the clubs at the draw when we do the draw, and so we go line by line over each item, answer any questions for anyone that has, so we get clarity and people understand. We put that out so that everyone knows beforehand, what it is. Each of the field operators carries a copy of the rules with them because on the day, people ask, like you said, make up their own rules and have all sorts of questions. And so we try to be as prepared as possible to make sure that we can kind of answer everything that comes up. And so far, this will be our 20th year. We haven't had any major issues to deal with. And like Ray said, this tournament has grown from a 12-team tournament in 1999 on a Saturday morning to 113 teams this year. 113 teams over 4 days. 1,350 players are registered to play this event. I don't think there is any other event on the island that has that many participants. So we feel blessed to have the opportunity to produce this event. But it's definitely I don't know if the labor of love, if I can say that in enough bill caps, but it's definitely a labor of love. You know what I mean? Because this is a strictly voluntary organization, and I kind of want to just reel into the fact that we can't do any of this without our corporate partners. And so we have to give a big shout out to all of those corporate partners, because it's important that they understand how much we appreciate what they do. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just mention them real quick. So we have Chubb, the Department of Youth, Sport and Recreation, AXA, Butterfield and Vallis, Atlantic Medical International, PwC, Allied World, Island Nights Productions, Butterfield Group, Barrett's, Emu.bm, Clarion Bank, Oil Insurance, Bermuda Sports Anti-Doping Authority, Bermuda Public Schools, Support Public Schools Bermuda and FIL Limited. And of course, great help from the Bermuda Football Association, Bermuda School Sports Federation, and even some of the clubs like North Village that provide us with benches, and ABC Valencia that allow us to use some grills. Like we wouldn't be able to do this program without that support.
Fair enough. You guys have 17 days left before the kickoff for the 20th annual event.
Yeah.
Any final comments you want to add?
Well, for me, just encouraging Bermuda to come out and enjoy 4 days of great entertainment.
Ain't no more room.
That's why they need this. That's why they need this holiday. They need that Friday off.
It ain't no room. One's over the kids.
That's my point. Because it's gonna go next year. Kids can come back and say, "Well, we have 24 more teams coming on, right?"
Ain't no more room.
That's that Friday. That's that Friday they
The
need.
cup is full.
Yeah.
Cup is full.
Let it overflow.
That's it.
Well, what I was saying is I'm encouraging the public to come out. I mean, it's an excellent event to see our young people perform. They want to perform, in front of a crowd. It's a family event, so you just come and enjoy yourself. You go watch your son, your grandson, niece, nephew, whatever, and watch others, and just encourage our young people.
It's true.
So they can feel proud. There's something positive. Let's put the positive in the spotlight.
Yes.
Because it seems like the only time they got spotlight if they happen to do something negative. There's 4 days of positive. Come out and support them.
Yes, absolutely. I echo those comments and just ask people to pay attention to signs and rules, particularly parking. Parking is always an issue on these particular weekend, and so there will be some additional parking spaces actually inside the NSC, and that is paid parking. I believe it's $10 to park, and that's on a first come first served basis. There have been obviously spaces allotted for all of the coaches and volunteers and sponsors and whatnot, but there is some space available. So, if somebody just wants to check to see if there's any space, when they come up on that day, please do. But understand that there is a fee for that parking. Outside of that, you're looking at all the other area places to park, and we will be confirming with some of those places to make sure that they have no issues with us sending people their way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Gentlemen, we wish you all the best.
Thank
We
you.
got a tight schedule today, so I'm sorry we're
No, it's all
shorting it
good.
up. You guys are doing a good job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much for having us.
And let me know when you hit that public holiday one, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Not a
Yeah.
problem. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, March 11th. Now joining us in studio is Patrick Foster, who I must say must be wearing skates right now because he's come out of one PSA tournament at the Squash Club. Very successful for 4 or 5 days of high top level squash that saw a 16-year-old phenom on our shores. I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing a lot more of that name and that face, and we got to see her as she's making her way up the ladder here
definitely.
in Bermuda.
It was exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I mean, I actually got some coverage following that. I mean, tracking her, I didn't know that much about her coming in, but yeah, she's a big name, and that's made a big kind of ruffle around the world. She posted a few things, and there's people in the top 5 in the world congratulating her and saying first of many. So it's good to get her here for that one. And
now we're going to be turning our attention to the legends of squash. It returns again. What is this? Year number 7, 8?
We actually skipped a year. We didn't do it last year. It just didn't fall into place with the other events that we had. It was a big year with some international events, and the sponsorship kind of redirected in squash. So this will be number 5, having skipped a year. And we have a fantastic lineup again. So it's 3 weeks away at this stage, which is back to back with a big event just finishing. But we've, I guess, whet everyone's appetites for great squash, and then we've got these guys flying in who are, as it says, the legends of squash, former number 1s and world champions, all here for 4 days of competition. Starts April 6th, and I can run through them if you want. I got all of my heroes. I'm a squash fan anyway. I'm lucky I get to work in my favourite sport, but I've got guys like David Palmer, who's a triple world champion, Jonathan Power, who of course is the North American star who went to world number 1 and just changed the sport. We got Dave Evans from Wales, who's a first-time comer, who's he won a British Open out of nowhere, just came out, just fantastic player, high performance coach for Wales at the moment, so he's coming in. Big John White, who's a favourite in Bermuda, he's been here many times, hardest hitter almost ever in squash. There's only one Aussie who's managed to beat him by a couple of miles an hour, but this guy just destroys squash balls. I got LJ Angema, who's a Dutchman who has only recently retired from the World Tour, so he's a new legend. He's just kind of qualified, I guess. And still, some of the other guys are like, he's too young, he can't have it. But he's in, fantastic talent, left-hander, former top 8 in the world, wicked player, so we're excited to see him. Nick Taylor's been before, former top 15 player in the world, exciting player. He's now based with his own squash centre in Boston. And it's pretty hot property. He's a World Masters champion at over 40 at the moment. Simon Park, former top 3 in the world, mega talent, been here a few times. And the last guy is Peter Marshall, which is a huge draw for anyone who has been around squash for a number of years. This is a guy who is from a different era. He was, when I was younger, I was watching this guy play. He was in the Jahangir, Jansha era of just amazing squash players. And this guy does it differently. He hits with 2 hands on both sides. So it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how it works. This guy is ferocious. He went world number 2. There's an epic story behind him when you start Googling and looking at what happened through his career. He's a guy who got chronic fatigue syndrome when he was world number 2. Lost his way, was obviously the health issues that go with that meant his career was done, except that he came back for one tournament, one time only, which happened to be the World Open. They gave him a wild card into qualifying. He made it all the way through to the final, lost in the final, and got chronic fatigue syndrome again. That was it. So he has had a total roller coaster of a career. And we're going to see him. I got him finally. So he's coming out with his 2-handed technique. 2 of the pros last week that were in our PSA Bermuda Open are trained by Peter Marshall. And we're like, you're kidding, you haven't seen this guy in the last few years. He's still playing great. So so we're looking forward to it. So that's our 8-man draw for 4 days.
Hopefully he's in John's group, because I know John would have fun with that.
I think so. I think all of them. We were talking about it the last time I saw some of these guys about who they'd like to have here joining Legends, and Marsh is one of them. That's what they want to see. They'd like to see him back on playing a John White or a Jonathan Power or something like that. Brilliant to see. So we're in for a treat.
going back to last week's tournament, I think people got a real sense of fierce action at a level in which they don't normally get to see. I mean, we have the national championships, we have guys like you and Nick and Noah and Micah, but to see that every night, I think they have a new appreciation for the sport. Because when you see the legends play, it's a little, because they've been out of the game, they're looking to last longer.
Well, it's exhibition as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's they're there to play great stuff and entertain the crowd. But at the end of the day, you're not playing for your world ranking. You're you're not looking at your career and how far you can get up. Whereas last week's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
You know? It was interesting because when we have our national championships, you have your top players on the men's and the women's side who are considerably stronger than the following group, and so you really get that final where you see squash at its highest level. And some of the other matches in the tournament are one-sided. It's just the nature of how it is because the pond isn't that big, type of thing. But yeah, in the PSA tournament, suddenly your first round matches could have been finals.
Right.
And they're on the backcourt, you know, with the number one seed Chris Binney having to battle for nearly an hour to just get through the first round.
And he has the remarkable story as well.
Chris
Binney, having a mini stroke in December. This was his second tournament, he said, but first real go at it since coming back.
I don't really know the full. I don't know. He's back and he's training and playing, but I don't think I ever really got any answers as to why it happened. Right.
Well, I spent some time. I mean, we talked considerably in length on Friday whilst the ladies' match was going on. Because the place was packed, so we ended up watching a bit of it on the television. But just talking about, you know, he doesn't know what brought it on. He doesn't know. He hasn't gotten the answers. But so he just said, you know what? Going to get back out there and see what happens. So.
Well, this guy's in his mid to late 20s. He's extraordinary athlete. He's been professional since probably the age of 16, more or less.
Right.
Super fit.
Caribbean number one.
Eight-time Caribbean champion. He's been as high as 50 in the world. He's beaten top 10 players. And just a mini stroke out of nowhere. And actually, with another local guy, one of our top squash players is at university, Nazir Smith.
Right.
He recently had the same thing.
Oh,
and he's 22, 23.
Right.
Again, no answers why. He's back here hitting a few squash balls around, having some tests, and they're not quite sure. So it's a little scary, actually. I've never really heard that common thing before, but two people that I know having it recently is odd. But I don't know. But I mean, Chris was on the comeback there. I think he was probably happy to be back on and playing and competing. But no guy of his level is happy losing in any round. So he was pretty grumpy by the end of it. But you know what? He was out yesterday. He was still here. He only left
well, he would have been disappointed on Saturday because Jamaica lost to Bermuda. So
he was disappointed with that. But I know he did catch his first lobster ever yesterday.
Oh, he did? Oh, okay.
He was staying with the host family. He was out on a gorgeous day. And the next thing, he had a lobster in his hand. He looked petrified, as I would be too. But then he was much happier later on when it was cooked and not moving.
Oh, okay, all right. And funny enough, I mean, he's Jamaican, and to hear not catching a lobster, I mean, come on.
I don't know. I guess he hasn't had the chance, or he can't. Maybe they have deeper water. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but maybe it was a pinch of salt with that one. Maybe he's just talking it up.
The event gets underway, say April 6th, correct?
April 6th, yeah.
What sort of turnout are you looking for this big event?
Well, our capacity there in the squash club, for those who haven't been in there, we have about 130 seats in the arena, which is behind a glass court back wall. So that's basically what we can pack into the house. There is space in this sort of bar lounge area where you can watch on the TVs, because we had the streaming equipment, and so there's extra TVs to watch in there. And then there's the viewers online, of which during last week was considerable, with people watching from abroad, following players that are travelling around the world. So on a nightly basis, if we sell out, I'm going to get 120, 130 people in there a night, and whoever's watching online, which in a small environment behind a squash court with two guys whacking a ball around is pretty loud. It's fun, especially with these guys who are very confident and very good at what they do, and they've been doing it a long time. They know exactly how to work the crowd as well. So it's kind of astounding athleticism and technical ability, and then the tactics of the game as well. And then with this particular tournament, there is a fun element, and that works well with our crowd at the squash club that always seems to turn out, and they get both sides of it with the pro event last week and now this one coming up. We should have a really good sellout crowd, hopefully, fingers crossed, you know.
Yeah. Squash is actually making a big ripple, especially on this side of the world, for Bermuda, per se. Medals at the CAC Games, off to the Pan Am Games. We have 2 current professionals. We have Nick off the pro, you off the pro.
Yep.
But having for Micah and Noah, having you guys around to hit at that level, to get some insight on what it's like to be a pro, growing up and all that. How much of a significant thing is it that you guys are still around the sport? Because we have a lot of people that come out of sports and don't go back to help out, but you guys are still around the sport. How much advice are you offering these guys, and the understanding of what it is to be a professional squash player?
Well, I guess all the time. These guys are always hearing, especially from myself and Nick Kime, you know, whether they want it or not, they're going to get some advice given to them on various different parts of the game. I mean, they're heavily involved themselves. You know, Mike is on court. He's back now. He's down with me, and he's working with the kids, and he's doing our national squads, and he's always sort of heavily involved. So it's nice to have him back. Noah trains abroad.
Right.
When back, he gets on court with me. He wants to do sessions with me, and he's eager to learn. And you know, those are our 2 traveling professionals.
Right.
Where, you know, we started by saying that the growth of the game, and you know, obviously having these international events is a sign that things are going well. But your basic kind of ruler, if you want to try and figure out whether you're doing well or not, is the number of people playing.
Right.
And squash is growing in Bermuda because my junior program is growing and is full. Our club membership is increasing. The number of courts on the island has increased in recent years. The number of people playing at other venues is going really well. And so I'm pretty happy with that side of it. You know, like, we are able to get sponsorship to run events like this.
Right.
We were able to send athletes to the Pan American Games, which they've qualified for by already having travelled to the qualification game. With last week's event, we had female players in a pro event for the first time, which was pretty awesome as well. So those girls that played in that event had to join the pro tour in order to do so, even if they're not traveling professionals competing. We now have names on the PSA World Tour, male and female. So overall, I feel like we're a growing sport. We're not shrinking. We're definitely doing well. There's a long way to go. Our sport in general obviously has the round topic that keeps coming around with the Olympic thing, and the fact that we just got skipped again, which is ultimately, there's no question, it's depressing really that we can't quite make that leap, but we don't give up. We just kind of go for it again, and you know, I will look to the WSF and the international federations to see what else they can do. I know eventually we'll get there. I just wish it was sooner rather than later, you know? But overall, I think we're great and we're doing well. We just want to do more.
Okay. All right. We do have to wrap up because we're going to have Vicky from the WTS come in. But we'll get back with you closer to the event, and hopefully we'll see the draw and move forward with the Legends of Squash Radio.
Anyone interested, just check out our website. Keep an eye on the social media and on our Bermuda Squash website. It's easy to find. We'll have lots of information up there. Come see us if you want tickets. I want to wish the 2 guys before me all the best with the football this weekend. I'm glad I've not got 113 teams to organise. But thanks for having me as always, guys.
All right. Thank you. And we'll be back with more Inside Sports Talk after these messages from our sponsors.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. We know we have the news in another 3 minutes, but joining us in the studio is Vicky Abraham, who's no stranger. The annual countdown to the ITU is days away, because we were saying months, weeks, now it's days away. I think it's on April 27th. Just give us a quick preview of what we're going to talk about just after the news today.
Great, thanks. It's always great to be here. There's always a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, as you said, just a few days away. So today we'll probably update you a bit on the kids race, because we had a free coaching clinic on Sunday yesterday. It was brilliant. So I'd love to just fill you in on that, and there's a couple of other free sessions coming up between now and the event.
Are you getting ready for the big event yourself?
I am. I've been training really hard.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So Earl and I will see you on the 27th.
Yeah, I'll be in front of the laptop. My fingers will be well trained.
So I always say somebody's got to be behind the scene doing everything else.
I'm with you, Earl.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
But that wasn't what she just said. She said she's been training.
Training. My fingers have been training on the laptop. I've just been hanging out emails and
ITU is cycling, running, and swimming.
It's been bike run.
Yeah.
And there'll be hundreds of people doing it in Bermuda on April 27th.
So you're not doing it?
There's plenty of ways to do it, Ian.
I understood. You want to keep it racking. You want to be the administrator. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll let you off the hook this time.
It takes so many dozens, hundreds of people to pull an event off like this, right?
Mm-hmm. But and you don't get the urge. You don't get the urge.
Oh my gosh, of course I do. And I've noticed so many people cycling on the roads.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm just noticing it more, or if there's really more people out there. I think there's more people out there because the weather's great.
Right.
And it's fantastic to see so many people training for this event.
I see them cycling, swimming, and running.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. You cycling, swimming, and running?
I'm not cycling, I'm swimming, and I'm running.
Okay.
But I'm not cycling. I'm honest.
So anybody who needs a team member?
I'm like, you and I are working that day.
And the truth comes out.
And the truth comes out, right? I'm working that day. So it's 12:59. We got the news at 1 o'clock. When we come back, we'll speak with Vicky Abraham and more about the ITU with the youth kids.
Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, March 11th. Again, in studio with us is Vicky Abraham with the World Triathlon Series. Series number 2, due to get underway in some 45 days. Things are really starting to heat up. We've already had the first WTS event of the year. As we all know, unfortunately, Flora decided best interest to not take part in that one, and is hoping to be on the start line for April 27th. But with 45 days to go, what are we brushing up on?
Well, everybody's in high gear, as you can imagine,
Right.
and there's so many different pockets and aspects of this event that touch everyone in the community. And just yesterday, as I'd mentioned earlier, we were down at the National Sports Centre, where several dozen kids were out of all ages. One very cute under 5-year-old on her little pink bike with trainers. I just thought that was adorable.
Right.
Obviously, she won't be competing in the kids' triathlon or duathlon, but maybe in a couple of years' time. So, just to mention on those, there's free kids coaching clinics still happening every
Right.
second Sunday at the National Sports Centre. It was great to be out and seeing the National Sports Centre so busy on a Sunday. You know, the pool was full of Canadian swimmers who were here for a week of training.
Right.
All lanes full. I think there was some soccer happening on the other side of the
Coaching
field.
course going on.
Yeah, and it was a really good vibe down there. So we're just there for the hour between 10 and 11 every second Sunday. So the next one will be March 24th. It's free. And really the idea there is to help coach the kids between the ages of 7 and 15 to practice really with the transition, coming from the bike to the run, understanding how that all works in the actual race, obviously preparing them for the Renaissance Re Kids Duathlon, which happens on Friday night, April 26th, all on the same blue carpet finish line as the elite athletes the following day, which they get pretty excited about.
Yeah, having the youngsters compete is a kickstart to what they want to try and accomplish out of the sport, because you might have someone who, like, when we say a team, you might have someone who's really strong at swimming, doesn't really like a bike, but is good at running as well. So it just builds that sense of confidence of being in where your mind changes, because it's now a race. It's not just I'm going out there training to do it, and you don't have any other vehicles on the road. You know, I think having that standalone on the Friday night, I think a lot of kids were looking forward to it and surprised themselves.
Yes, I think I completely agree. A race really changes the dynamic for a child and an adult.
Yes.
But I think you see it come out more in the children.
Right.
They get very serious about it. And even in the coaching sessions, you know, Neo de Saint-Croix down there, you know, offering advice and helping them along and explaining how all this works, and they get very serious about it.
Right.
So, you know, it's a good thing because it builds discipline, and as you said, it builds confidence.
The one thing I would, if any parents out there listening, when the kids are on the bike, do not run on the side of the road alongside the bike, only because
Safety.
Well, I watched about 8 kids have accidents because the parents shouting, do this, do that, do the other, that they tend to look over to where the noise is coming from, and they go over on the bike, and it's a distraction. If you put them in the race, let them do it. Let them feel the way through.
As an adult, we feel compelled to, you know, help and support
Right.
the young person as much as we can. But actually, we need to trust that those young kids are very well practiced. They're very focused, and they know what they need to do. And just as we wouldn't want someone screaming at us in the middle of a race, I think the same probably applies.
If anything, put someone down one side, you stand down the other,
So
just to
they can
support.
see your support.
Because I mean, like I said, I was actually close to Arnold's on the straight stretch, and kids were going down because you had parents running, screaming, "Do this, do that, slow down, or pick it up," and they're paddling and they're looking and
distracting.
And over you go, and it's like, wow, just if you parents stay down at the finish line, you'll be all right. Receive them when they come down there.
What would you do with your kiddo?
Yes,
The real question is, what would you do in if you were in those shoes?
Well, let's put it like this: my son would probably be mad at that and the devil when as a former player and a former coach, Whenever my son plays football, I sit on the side and don't say a word.
Perfect parent.
And I tell him,
Seriously.
Yeah.
you
That's
don't.
a good point.
You
It's a
go to
good
training
point.
with your coach.
So the thing to do is to come to the free kids coaching sessions, and then as an adult, we have confidence that our children are
Right.
well versed and
Right.
they know exactly what to get on with.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
And all the way through that coaching session, Neil de Saint-Croix was asking the kids, "What's the most important thing about the bike?" And they all said in chorus, "Safety first."
Mhm.
Right. They're
Right.
well trained. So just to recap on that, there's age groups: 7 to 8-year-old, 9 to 10-year-old, and 11 to 15-year-old on the race on the Friday night. The 7 to 10-year-olds will be running 400 meters, cycling 1.5K, and running 400. And then the 11 to 15-year-olds will be running 1,600 meters, cycling 3K, and running 1,600. So it's not a huge, arduous race. It's just enough to make them really feel like they've put a decent effort in.
Right.
Yeah.
And it lines them up for the season because they look
Yeah.
forward to the next one and the next
Yeah.
one and the next one.
And it's really showing that the sport is growing, because last year we were having up to 70 children show up to those coaching camps just before the race. So it would be great to see those numbers again.
Right.
And we're even asking people this year, who are their sporting heroes? No prizes for guessing who the triathlon sporting hero is.
It's a no-brainer.
Right?
That's
It
no
is.
brainer.
It's
Well,
great.
actually, I mean, for Bermuda, the sport's off to a flying start this year because we had Erica Hawley compete over the weekend, finishing 6th in Florida. I mean, this is her first year as a senior competitor. She competed mixed junior and then went to senior last year, but this will be her first full year. To finish 6th in an elite field of 55, and that's what we get when you have an elite field. It's like 55 competitors in the women's field, and to finish 6th,
Very impressive.
I mean, she was only, I think, if I can remember, I think she was only a minute and a half, less than a minute and a half off the leader, the winner.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, we
she
have it.
leaps and bounds,
Yeah.
and I'm looking
Florida
forward to
is not
Tyler.
an anomaly. She's not
Yeah.
a one-off of a kind.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
triathlon is strong in
And-
Bermuda. We
and-
have a good
and-
field.
As I asked Tyler Butterfield a few weeks ago when he was here, the sense that Erica and Tyler Smith got the opportunity to compete with Flora and himself, how much did that help their confidence and understanding? Because you're sitting down, you're talking to the world number one, you're actually teamed up with the world number one, so obviously your expectations of yourself now becomes, I want to make sure that she looks good, so I have to do my best. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think those two have benefited from the fact that they have someone who's still involved in the sport, and they can rub shoulders with that person and get advice and get ideas and so forth. I mean, if you look at Flora's career, it took her 12 years to get to where she is, but that was constant work. So when you start comparing, you have to say, Erica, you're going to have to spend time, and Tyler, you're going to have to spend time. It's going to be time that you're going to need to get to that level.
Sure. Vicky, you've been covering the sport itself for the last couple of years now. What do you see the strengths within this sport, meaning that the growth, has it been through its development for the last few years? Have you seen it grow?
Grow as in numbers?
Yes,
volume?
numbers, yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's all we hear since last year is that there has been more interest in the sport. There have been more youth showing up to the Tri-Heads training that happens all through the season, regularly on a Saturday. There has been more interest in these youth camps. There obviously are other corporates in Bermuda who have their own triathlons and duathlons. So yeah, it certainly is a sport of interest, and it doesn't seem to be a phase. It's
Right.
something that seems to be lasting.
Right.
And
Last thing for me, volunteers are still needed for both Friday and Saturday. Yeah?
yes, thank you, Earl. There is definitely a need for more volunteers. We're at about the halfway mark.
Okay.
So in the next week, we'd love to see 300 people sign up.
If they can't make Saturday, there's always Friday night.
There's Friday night,
Right.
there's Thursday,
Right.
I think for race pickup still open.
Right.
But really the bulk of what we need are
Is on
people on
Saturday.
the street, keeping the course clear, keeping it safe. It's a super easy job, but it's a super important job.
Yes.
You get the t-shirt and the gear and come out and have a great time. The great kind of formula for people last year was that they did that in the morning, supporting the age group race, which is when we need the bulk of the people because it's a larger course.
Yes.
And then they were free from 12 o'clock to scrub up and head down to Front Street and see the elite race.
Right.
So just to remind people of the times, again, the age group races kick off at 7 a.m. on the Saturday, and that will be in waves, staggered. And then the men's elite is at 1 p.m. from Front Street, and the women's elite, the Florida Feast race, is at 4 p.m. And also we should remind people that there is a Sunday shopping festival on the Sunday, because quite often it's difficult to get into the shops in town, and some of those shops are going to be closed on the Saturday. And so they're doing something really special and big on the Sunday with in-store experiences and a lot of fun things. So it's a full weekend of activities.
Cool. Anybody wants to sign up? How can you get in contact with you, Vix?
Well, if you want to sign up to race then go to trybermuda.com and tribermuda.com, and to volunteer the same. Just go straight to the volunteer tab, or trybermuda.com/volunteer will take you straight to the page. You set yourself up with a profile, and then you can select your time, day, whatever suits you. You select it yourself this year.
But you're running out of time to select where you want to be.
Yeah, well, somebody else might get the spot, but we might just have to close the door, which we really obviously don't want to do.
Right.
Yeah, it'd just be great to have everybody out. And I know as Bermudians we like to leave things to the last minute, and that's cool because something else might come up. But we're just going to really ask for people to make that commitment and put your name down. And
Okay.
So also just to mention, today we're kicking off a photo contest. So if you have any photos from last year, we'd love for people to post those photos, their favorite photo from last year. It doesn't have to be of the race, it could be of themselves or of spectators or volunteering, and certainly just post those to our social media channels, so Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Tag us, Try Bermuda Photo, and all the instructions are on each of those social networks. So you can win a great prize, and you can get into the VIP viewing on the Saturday if you're drawn.
All right.
Yeah.
Your chances are good, Vicky.
My chances. I take great photos. I agree. I think I'm disqualified from entering.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see you back in 2 weeks' time, I think on the 25th.
That's
and
great.
I think if you can bring back your trainer who was training a couple of athletes for this event, see how their program's going as well. I forget her name.
Betty Doyle.
Betty Doyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
So, cool. Thank you very much. We're going to take a commercial
We'll be
break.
chatting soon.
Not a problem. We take a commercial break and we'll be back with the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade.
Inside Sports Talk Radio on Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us in the studio right now is the president of the Bermuda Football Association, Mr. Mark Wade. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to your listeners.
All is well?
All is well.
You look a little tired.
Yeah, well, you know, it's football.
It's football.
Keeps me busy.
Keeps you busy. Means you're doing a good job.
The local season's drawing to an end. The international season is about to pick up.
Yeah.
Non-stop?
It's non-stop.
Non-stop.
So, you know.
You got some news to share with us. I think Bermuda's participating on the 25th of this month.
24th of this month. Our boys go down to Dominican Republic to play their final CONCACAF Nations League match. A victory should put us in the Gold Cup for the first time in Bermuda's history. So we've I had a peek at the team. But we're not ready to release it yet because I know somebody's going to ask me.
I'm not going to ask you.
The coaching staff is just going through that due diligence right now. You know, in terms of preparation for that, Kyle Leiprin and David Saber flew down to Dominican Republic earlier this year to just go through the logistics, have a look at hotels, which one's suitable, do their timings. So how long is the drive from the hotel to the training pitch, from the hotel to the match, meet with the hotel, talk about meal plans, meeting rooms, so on and so forth. Have a look for, you know, convenience stores for staff, depending on what they may or may not need down there. Have a look at the pitch. So they did all that. Obviously looked at using Dave Saber's experience in security to have a look at any security concerns that we may or may not have for the team. So they did that, and they came back with, you know, their report, and so we have a hotel that we're staying in. And before I forget, any fans that are going down, go to the office to book your tickets so you can get into the match. So far we have, last time I checked, we have about 80 persons going down to see the match. Trying to get that to grow to 200.
120.
I'm gonna say that again. Trying to get that to grow to 200, so that we have, you know, we have some voice. You know, we have a third man and third man and woman in the stands. Yeah. So it's all looking up, looking good. You know, we just so really right now I just want to get it on. like a boxer sitting in the change room, like, you know, get me in the ring type of thing. But yeah, so it's all shaping up pretty good. Yeah.
The event is on the 24th, as you mentioned earlier. So when will the team head down south to the DR?
The team will leave early in the week and go down to Fort Lauderdale for a camp. So we'll bring everybody together for a little 4-day camp, and they'll get into DR, I believe, on the 21st. Just to aid in the acclimatization of everyone, get the jet lag out. Obviously, the players that are coming from far, like Willie Clemens and potentially Roger Lee, those guys that are in those areas, they need a lot more time to get themselves acclimatized. But so, you know, we're ready. I'm ready.
It's interesting. He named off 2 names. Must have just.
Well, Eddie Furthers away.
Eddie Furthers away.
I know he did that.
I'll help him out in that regard.
And
Because it's waiting for me to ask.
And they were in the last team. So, you know, that was a safe sort of.
Safe call.
If I had somebody in China, I would have said that. Yeah. There you go.
But what a lot of people don't understand is how often do we do those type of things? What David and Kyle were able to do. Go ahead, look at because it's all logistics. You don't want to get there and be surprised.
We do them periodically. Some places we go, you know, we're fairly comfortable with the local organizing committee. So I mean, if we're going to IMG in Florida, we've been there multiple times, so we're pretty comfortable. If we're going down to the Cayman Islands, so to speak, you know, those areas are comfortable. When we start to go especially into to non-English speaking countries. It's not our first language, not our second, third, or fourth.
Right.
So it always helps to go down ahead of time to do some, as they say in the army, do a recce. So yeah, we do that periodically. It's something that we want to try and do more often. With the Nations League and CONCACAF actually managing competition, a lot of the to use the polite word, gamesmanship that used to happen, it's kind of been stamped out anyway.
Right.
So, but we still have to be diligent to make sure that nothing else creeps in.
Right.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of things going on in the region, not just this particular match, but we have under 17 boys or under 15?
Under 17 boys,
Yeah.
going over to IMG, our under 17 girls, under 20 girls, our under 15 boys, and we should, just waiting for confirmation from CONCACAF that we'll have a girls challenge series. If you remember last year, our boys went to a challenge series, which is just a group of matches.
Right.
They went to Cayman Islands and came back undefeated in that. Not undefeated. They were top. They topped the group in that. So we're doing a similar thing for our girls. So there's lots and lots of activity, and we're just kind of transversing our way through it. Keeps everybody busy, really. But it's good busy. It's a good problem to have.
Well, some will say yes, and others will sit around the table and say no. We need a break. But it's all in the name of football. What has been your standout so far through this period, especially since the girls have come back from their success? What has been your standout moments of late?
Well, to be honest with you, standout moments have probably been off the pitch. For us having Karina LeBlanc come to Bermuda for our first women's symposium, I mean, she was dynamic, and she was really able to energize the girls. Being able to sign an agreement with HSBC to support our girls program, that's huge. That's really, really huge. Sharice being asked to make a presentation at the CONCACAF Women's Symposium that's in Mexico. She just returned.
Right.
David Sabir on a panel. So it's some of us been off the pitch in terms of of late. Local football is dominating the scene right now, and so the highlights are some of the work that's been happening off the pitch. Yeah.
We already know who's won the Premier League. I think the only things left to decide is which two of three will take the plunge, and which one of two will win the first division. But it's been a long season. But you see the finish line for the season coming. When do you think the team for the match in the Dominican will be released?
I'm going to say in the next 7 days.
That's a big window. Let me close this window a little bit.
I had to give myself a good window, right?
Close this window a little bit, man.
He told himself.
Hey, I've got Venetian blinds, man. But obviously, you want to wait until this next weekend, especially with the overseas players playing multiple games. I think, I believe Reggie's going to play tomorrow night, or his team plays tomorrow night, and then again on the weekend. Sure. I believe Queens Park Rangers play Wednesday and Saturday, so it's a lot of football to be played between now and then. And I cringe to think I gotta wait 7 days, but I understand.
I said within the next 7 days.
I gotta wait 7 days. If it comes before that, they're fine. But I'm gonna, So don't expect no call, no text, no nothing. If I see you on the street, hey, Mr. President, how you doing? I'm not gonna ask you. No, we go across that 8th day now. Look,
you're gonna be on to me. I know. It's all right. It's okay. But yeah, it's it's exciting times, I'm just really looking for a positive result down in the Dominican Republic.
You've been in the helm now for a couple of years.
A couple,
just a few. I would say things were a little darker on that side, but it's going a little lighter.
Yeah.
What have you seen transpire in the most positive way under your tutelage in your time?
I think certainly women's football. I'll say that we've had multiple stop-starts in women's football, and I think getting the right skill sets and the right personalities in the room and around the table. I think we've had probably the most positive start that we've had for women's football in quite some time. So that's a highlight, definitely. Certainly, our senior man on the verge of making history it's not a surprise. It's a culmination of a lot of work. If you look at some of the players in the team, they have been involved in the national program since 2005, 2004, and they were only 12 and 13 years old. Dale was probably the youngest player at 12 years old. So many years ago. So it's been a process, and it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the work of others, other administrations. Really. To be honest, I was a coach.
I was going to say, weren't you up PHC with the under 13?
No, I had the under 15.
Yeah, you and Ray.
Dennis Braun, Troy Lewis, and Vincent Troy. Right. Had the under 13s at the time. So
and back then, you guys were looking for fields to train.
We were traveling the breadth of the island, really looking for someone to train. So, yeah, I mean, to see that happen over a period of time. The start of the Nations League is huge for small countries. Right. That cannot be overstated. Yeah. That is huge. And to see other confederations now, having a look at UEFA and CONCACAF to say, maybe this is something that we need to do. Gosh, being around through the dark days. That's what I'm going to call it. Through the dark days, I was in Switzerland when quite a number of colleagues, I'm gonna call them colleagues, were arrested. So to see FIFA and CONCACAF, I'm gonna say successfully emerge from that. It was dark, man.
It was dark when I hit you up too.
So we're going from not wanting to wear FIFA and CONCACAF logos on your clothing as you're traveling through the airport. Right. That's how it was. That's how it was. To come out of that, to have CONCACAF rebrand itself. So we have a new CONCACAF brand and a new vision going forward. So that's been great. Where even the re-emergence of the CFU, which is a work in progress at the moment. Looking for good things coming out of that. The awards, the BFA awards, that we kind of revitalized that. And that's coming up on April the 27th. Excuse me for my commercial, but that's coming up on April the 27th. And we've kind of really put some resources behind that and kind of made it an event. And, we want that event to be on everybody's calendar.
That's where's going to be held to this year? You said April 27th.
I guess I'm in charge, so I can review the date and the time.
You already said the date. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be at City Hall. It'll be at City Hall this year. So we've moved from Cedar Bridge to BUEI and all at City Hall. So we're really trying to give the players something really that they look forward to celebrate them.
And what time?
Normal start 6:30.
And the reason I'm asking all this, because April 27th is the day of the ITU.
Yes, and that's why I said 6:30, because I'm pretty sure, I know that we considered the end of the triathlon. Right. And we wanted to be near enough to the end.
Okay.
So I think it is 6:30.
Okay. Fair enough.
So yeah, that's coming up. That's something that we've kind of really worked on. Reestablishing the Legend Scholarship, that was huge. That was huge as well. And putting $50,000 a year behind that, and that was and we've seen some benefits on that with players going off to college. The partner re-award, Kenny Smokey Thompson partner re-award, where we send players over to for training experiences to help develop their football, and we do that in conjunction with the Youth and Sports National Junior Athlete Sponsorship. There you go, I got it. We do that in conjunction with them, so it's been good,
Right.
and through it all we've strengthened our partnership with now AXA, because we've gone from Catlin to Axel to AXA. So it's been it's been a good journey. It's been a good journey. We've had more than enough positives, but the work never stops.
Right.
We've got to the local game is needs an injection, I think, we're trying to look at ways to inject it. Just had a conversation this morning, really, where we're looking at the local game and saying, well, you know what, there's a talent drain in Bermuda, because our athletes have more and more opportunities over Ireland. So we definitely have a talent drain, not just in football, athletes in general. So athletes that were playing football and cricket and doing track and field are off. They're in prep school, they're in college, they're in the UK. So for me, the local leagues have that talent train that we we need to do something. But I think overall, the football's been good. Definitely have to celebrate some surprises. Crossroads was a surprise. They've done well. They've done extremely well. And barring a disaster, looks like Mr. Thompson will be the leading goal scorer. He's just got to stay in front, keep his nose in front, right?
Angelo's got his penny up now.
Yeah,
his penny up. Now a hat-trick yesterday. So.
Yeah, I know. So it's
anything's possible.
Yeah,
it's been good, man.
2 games left
to see, and just when you think of it, you look back on it. Crossroads being promoted for the first time, and Social Club returning to the league,
right?
And just think of
Vasco
returning to the league, Social Club returning to the Premier Division.
Right, right.
So there's all been significant things, and we've got some exciting things coming up. So yeah, man, the work continues.
So one more question to you, and that is the downside. What's been challenging on the lower end side?
That's easy. Antisocial behavior.
Fair enough.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
And we've got some programs to help us deal with that. We have the best back policy that we're just doing revising it a little bit. We actually have all Premier and First Division players will be vetted this year for the first time.
Wow.
So we have, last time I checked, we had 14 players that were banned under the policy. Thankfully, we had one who appealed his ban and is being able to play, and we had another 2 or 3 whose clubs advocated for them.
Right.
And gratefully, they're back playing. But that's a big problem for Bermuda. And the way I always put it is that football is the entertainment of choice. We have to do some more work in that area. But I think these are our young men, and we have to do what we can to turn them around. And if football is a way to do that, we have to figure out how to help them. And but it doesn't come without consequences. And the best back policy is one of the consequences.
Sure.
Yeah.
My final question before I wrap up, I was probably got one question as well. Going forward, one big thing was international matches. It's been on every president's radar. Yes, you've been able to successfully put it in place now. But once this tournament is over, Bermuda, yes, we'll advance to the next round. Are there any international matches for Bermuda outside of this one?
We don't have what they call a Schedule A match. We will have a Schedule B, and I'll let others kind of, I don't want to steal their thunder, but we should have a Schedule B match in May. The window for us to have matches in the FIFA window is only June, because the FIFA window is all taken up by Nations League and then and March. So a lot of our matches we play outside of the FIFA window. Good for local based players and college based players because they get the opportunity to be in front of the coach. Not so good for fans who want to see professionals. But we try and work with that. Sometimes the professionals can get off if their coach allows them to come. Other times, they won't. If it's not during a FIFA window.
Right.
So I would say to local fans, look out for friendly matches in June, and then spot it the April, May, June sort of windows. But the other windows will be competitive matches. So we're already got an eye on Nations League, which starts again in September. It looks like we're going to land in Division B, which is fine. But we got an eye on that as well. So it's a juggling act, staying with the present, but crystal balling into the future and planning for the future.
Well, we've taken out that. We only play international football every 4 years, once every 4 years.
Yeah.
We've taken that elephant out of the room now.
Yeah.
Now it's up to the players that want to be a part of it to get involved.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I certainly, try and get out to matches, and I see certain players, and I think they have something to offer on the international level. They just have to, they want to be there.
Yeah, that's the start. They have to want to be there. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And do everything that comes along with being there.
There you go.
Yeah.
But the doors are always open.
Yeah.
Doors are always open.
Any final comments, Mr. President?
No. I'll really. Well, actually, let me just reiterate that fans that are going on to Dominican Republic, if you haven't already, reach out to us so you can make sure you get tickets. We've got about 80 odd, and we want to increase that number. And I'll see you down there.
Cool. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's always a pleasure having you on board. All right?
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm going to do my best.
Cool, bro.
All right.
We'll take a commercial break and be back after this.
FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Bayston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Joining us on the phone now is the president of the Bermuda Half Marathon Derby, Miss Gina Tucker. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Rollins and Bermuda.
My name is Ian, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. I see you are doing some training. Are you getting ready for this ITU?
Well, you know, trying to keep it secret, but gosh, the minute you find out something, everybody knows, isn't it?
Oh, I'm just, saying what I'm saying. I'm seeing what I see.
It's in the dark every night. In the dark. People don't know. I guess so. I'm trying to, just stay fit and healthy and keep up with all these young people,
Well, you did it last year. You did very well last year, so I look forward to seeing you at the starting line this year.
Well, that will be, let's be hope.
Yeah, well,
right?
It's key. You're absolutely correct. And Earl, I'm going to tell you, she can swim. No, I'm being honest, Earl. She can swim.
Okay.
I'm being, me, I'm when it comes to swimming, right? And it's not like running. This girl can swim.
Well, I would hope.
This young lady can swim.
I would hope a lot of Bermudians would be in that position. But when you say swim, there's an art to swimming.
Right, and she has the art to swimming.
Oh.
All right. I'm being totally honest about this. I'm not trying to toot her horn.
Right.
She can swim.
Okay.
All right. Not like some others around here, 12 meters and then out of breath, like me. This girl can swim, all right? She's like, let's go warm up. We're doing 400 meters. 400 what? Track and field. Huh? You ain't talking to me? Gee, this is not track and field, This is swimming. This girl can swim. Okay, on a serious tip, though. The annual event, meaning the half marathon, is just upon us, too. That's on May 24th. It's the 110th this year, correct?
110th, and it's 73 days, 14 hours, 22 minutes, and 10 seconds. 9 seconds. Oh, wait.
No, it's probably about 5 seconds on top of that. Mercy. And it's coming out of the east this year, and that's a good sign. That's where you are. That's your loveliest St. George's. I get that. Not a problem. But this year you have Argus on board as a sponsor, and you've got some new things in place. You've got to sign up already on a website. And how are things going there thus far?
Going pretty good. I wanted to call and let people know, remind them that the early registration deadline is March 31st. The early registration is March 31st. So we need everyone to register because they would have the chance to win a grand prize. And when I say grand, I mean grand. So I want people to not think it's, nothing against the $50 grocery certificate, but I'm talking grand. Signed up.
Okay.
Before March 31st, or before, what was our deadline? I believe it's March 31st.
Right.
To be eligible to win that prize. So
there are 20 days left then, so you got plenty of time to go online to the website. What is the website address? Do you know offhand?
BermudaMarathon.pm.
Okay. And so we could sign up and get those entries in, and you can win a grand prize by the 31st of March. That's again, I think I said 21 days left. I think something that's so 20 days left before you do it.
Well, yep, we're at 11, so that's about 20 days left.
Yeah, 20 days.
21 is to include today, 22. Enough days for people to get on and get signed up. We don't want people to wait until the last minute, although we always love our people who jump up on the day registration or number pickup and come and sign up. Those people are adorable.
They're the special ones. Yeah, they're the ones who wake up and say, you know what, I'm going for a run. All right?
The night before.
Night before, when they wake up. I do you go run the race today. They say, you do me? Okay, I'm going to sign up right now. I'll pay the extra. And they'll go do it, right?
That's the problem. Yeah. It's always that weekend before where people are out having a good time. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll give you X amount of dollars to try it. And
they did.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why they got the Saturday to recover now. But good thing is that this time around, the first time in I can't remember how long, but early registration is on board, and that the information is out there now as opposed to waiting to April. You put this stuff out. I think you broadcasted in February about this registration, this early registration on your website. So credit to you regarding your committee putting that information out there. Numbers this year, we usually average between 850 members, meaning relays and competitors as well. Looking to be the same or more this year, correct?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm expecting that for this big 110 and all the grand prizes that we have, I'm expecting at least 1,000 people for individual. 1,000. It really should be 1,110.
I think so. I see where you're going with that. That's a good idea.
But one thing is for sure: if they need 2 people, you and Ian make up that number.
Well, I think we're working that day, right?
Enough out there for 1,000. You should be able to make 1,110. That's what I'm looking for. The person who comes 1,110 gets a grand prize.
Earl?
That means last.
No.
Yeah,
she's saying no, she means signing up. Sign up. You got to run the race, just sign up.
Oh, okay.
So you got a chance, Earl.
What about the person that? What about the 110th person that signs up?
That's what I'm talking about.
She said 1,000.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry.
And 110, that's a given. I mean, we'll get that. That's a given.
Okay.
However time you could be, you might have passed the 110 already.
Yeah. I know who won't be. I know who won't be. We'll leave it like that. But to tell you the truth, this past weekend, road running got a lot of injection with Lamont Marshall, the defending champion, breaking the 15K record, and Tyler Butterfield breaking the marathon record over in Japan. Lamont was Saturday and Tyler was yesterday. I mean, if somehow, some way, Tyler wants to come back, and it just adds to the fuel of fire for that day. That we've seen. We went through the Jay Donovan winning, Lamont back winning. It just adds to the day that I think a lot of people have a lot of pride in seeing people, and especially coming out of St. George, Lamont, we got a lot of support again in the Devonshire area, coming off the hill. So, I just think those type of things that we see, and it's good to see Sean Trott back out.
Yes.
And seeing what he's able to put down. He spent some time working over in the UK, done a few races over there. He's back on the scene here, dominating the races that he's run. We've seen, just others come out and kind of be interesting. I know that the female race should be very interesting this year because you have any one of 4 or 5 females that could actually win. So I think this year will be a lot of excitement at the start line and definitely at the finish line.
I agree, and I'm looking forward to it. It was awesome to see all of the activities this weekend, and I'm trusting that they are getting ready for the big day, right? That will be 73 days away.
Wow, 73 days away. Yeah, I've seen Chris out there running. There's some secret training out there on Spanish Point area. Yeah, right. Just after 7 mornings, doing some running.
He don't call it secret training. He calls it fitness.
Fitness. Okay.
He's just staying in shape. He says.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it should be a celebration of our champions who are still able to run. I'm trying to get Kevin out. I saw him the other day. He reinforced me so quickly. But it'll be nice to see even the likes of our Kevin Smith on the start line. I just think it should be a celebration. It's an important event, and it's an important milestone to make it this far. And thanks to the committee and to our sponsors over the years that we're able to even be around 110 years later. And so it'll be nice to have everyone there.
Why do people get so enthused with this event? I know it's like the kickstart to our summer Bermuda. This starts our summer, May 24th. But people really get tuned into this event. People of all walks of life go to the starting lineup. The camaraderie is there. The people cheering you on, running with you, holding Pepsi in their hand or something a little heavier than Pepsi, and actually drink it along the way. I mean, people just go out, mark the streets. This is my territory. This is for my family. And guess what? This is what I'm passing out to the runner. You know what I'm saying?
also the nostalgia of it, the idea of people running this event in this heat. I mean, it's hot. That's probably the last event for most of the road runners. Would it be, Earl? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I can't imagine people running too much after that day.
That is actually the last race of the season.
Road season.
So, and that's a culmination, right? To really see everyone coming through the season and landing on this start line and showing their stuff. I mean, to think of how they ran so many years ago barefoot on dirt roads, it was just awesome to think that such an event took place. And I think it's a marvel for around the world, internationally. I think Bermuda has made its mark with this event, and Bermuda, thankfully, Bermudians remain excited about the event and its participants and who actually will be crowned king or queen. And then they also just love to see that person, this regular runners, weekenders who plug their way through that very, very tiresome course, because it's no joke, that course, but especially coming out of the east.
For sure. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Gina Tucker. I know time is of essence on our side, so we welcome you back anytime. We'd like to have you on again next week and give an update on how things are going.
I'll be back to remind everybody, and of course, thanks again to our lead sponsor, the NCC committee, and all the other sponsors who help make this year possible.
Thank you. And you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll touch base with you later. I'll probably see you out training somewhere secretly. You know the deal. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. Well, Earl, it's been a pleasure. It's just about 2 o'clock, top of the hour. Any final comments before we wrap up?
No, just looking forward to another sporty weekend. Hopefully, I heard Don say the weather's supposed to change a little bit through the week, but overall, I think we'll be ready for a sporty week.
Yeah. Just want to shout out to my good friend, Mr. Dave Wolf's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Dave.
He's turning 22 today.
Oh.
Yeah. Looks in good shape for 22-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah,
I must be knocking on 22 too, Dave, because we play football together.
Yeah, but he was a little younger than us, so he's 22.
Yes, that means I'm in about 25. Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah.
Just turned 25 around.
Dog years.
I didn't say that you did.
No, I know. I'm dog years.
Okay.
Yeah, 25 dog years.
Right on.
Yeah.
Don Bassett.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well.
Not a problem. I didn't get a chance to talk to our friend, Mr. Mark Simons, but we'll invite him on for next week, Monday.
Mark, call me. I'll tell you what he really said.
Mark, that wasn't me. He's just saying because a Man United lost to Arsenal, I didn't want to call. That's what he said. But that's not the deal. That's not the deal. That is not the deal. I wonder how Sean doing today.
Quiet.
He's quiet?
Quiet. In a corner.
All right, cool. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks.
Presentation is brought to you by Game Time, the Argus Group.
Yeah, buddy.